Hey, you guys. It's your girl Pinky. I know it's been a while. It's been a very long time since the last time I record. But I've been going through some things. Not bad. It's just a revelation that's repeating itself that I didn't want to face the truth. And I don't know why, but the Father's put it on my spirit to record, and I've been supposed to record this. I just didn't want to because of vulnerability, humiliation, and embarrassment. And I know that comes a part of this journey. Some of you will understand and some of you probably won't, but I used to always hear this thing people always talk about, black sheep of the family. When you're chosen, when you're just like an outcast, it starts in your family, and I didn't want to face that. The last time I talked to you guys, I was supposed to move back to Florida from Georgia for the sake of my children. So that successfully took place. I'm back in Florida, and I took the offer that my dad gave me to live with him. To basically start off fresh with a new job. I'm still trucking, as you can see. I'm in a day cab right now. I'm with a different company, and start off fresh and just save up my money and to get my own place, and then work on getting my children. It was already an agreement with me and my ex-husband that once I get situated, the children will be in my care. But I told him, it's for the sake of the children, let's go for shared custody. I'm not the type to, I'm getting custody and they'll never see their dad again. I'm not that heartless. I just have a different heart. I don't have a heart to be bitter, no ill, no hatred, no resentment towards anyone. I don't know why God built me like this. Like, I could be mad at you and probably turn away from you and you'll never hear from me again for the sake of you and me, but I still will have love for you. I don't wish no bad upon you. That's just the type of person I am. And I used to argue with God all the time. Why did he make me this way? But going back to what I was saying, and to throw it all in a nutshell, not to keep this video long, I came down here basically to repeat the same thing all over again that I've known all my life, but I didn't want to admit to. And I felt that God had put me through all of this all over again to cut the ties, not just spiritually and mentally, but physically. He told me, I can't take you to the next level, and I can't put you on that path to your actual purpose. But he said, because what I have for you, you have to let go of. And I fully understand now what he meant by where I'm taking you. You have to get rid of that mindset, mindset of the way of you think, your own beliefs, your own perception, like basically just hollow. Basically starting all from scratch with new season, new recipe of how God is going to marinate you and prepare you for your purpose. And he caused me to go through all of these things all over again. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it hurted so bad. I didn't want to accept it. I had to cut ties with my family, and I've known it since I was a child. I grew up, it was loving at first. I can remember things back when I was a baby, which is crazy. Some things I can remember as a newborn, like a couple of months old. Some things I can remember at a year or two old. Like things you wouldn't think a adult would remember as a child. But I noticed things started to change as the older I got. I started to notice that I just felt like an outcast. We would have gatherings, and my siblings and my aunts and everybody to be cahoots together, laughing and talking and stuff, and I'm just off to the side by myself. You know, I try to fit in, but I didn't fit in. You know, it started making me question, like, damn, am I blood? You know, like, I look at the features and I look at my own, and I'm like, I'm theirs, but why do they treat me this way? You know, and it caused me to be rebellious and build hatred and envy and resentment in my heart. And, you know, being on this journey, and some of you that have been watching my videos from the beginning, you know the story, so I shouldn't have to repeat everything. But my testimony itself, I got over it, and I thought I fully got over it, but God had me realize you didn't. And I was like, well, why did you make me go through all of this? I built so much for myself for it to fall apart. Like, I worked so hard to get where I was. And he was like, because what you built for yourself was your plan, it wasn't mine. And he said, but it was necessary. You have to understand that no matter what decision you make, if God has a purpose for your life, it's going to work out in the end anyway. That's why he allows some things to be the way they are. And I'm like, but when I tell you, before I started this video, I was in this truck and I was driving until I got to my destination. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, it hurts. And I just felt him saying, I know, just get it out. Like, when I tell you, my dad was just determined to, he speaks so much death and damnation on my life that I went down with a significant other. It tore our relationship apart. 2 years engaged and all, he got in between us and separated us, so it broke up our relationship. He was telling this man that, you know, I don't want you to go through what I went through in my past, you know, with her mom, you know, helping raise kids that wind up turning on you. And I was like, did he just sit here and say this in front of me to my fiance, right where I'm standing right there? And my fiance was looking like, what? You know, and we were both confused. And I had to talk to my fiance one day. I was like, is it me, or my dad has not let go of his past with my mom? And I kid you not, I'm going to post a picture on my YouTube page. I'm going to show you a picture of my mom. Me and my mom next to each other in the picture. Picture of her and a picture of me. We look just alike. Like, she spit me out. When I say she spit me out, she spit me out. It's just one picture looks... Oh, I am a younger version of her. That's literally how it looks. It looks like I didn't put a filter on this picture and said, this is what age I am now versus back then. Every spit image of my mom. When I look in the mirror, I see my mom. And I had to call my mom, and she didn't answer the phone, so I left her a voicemail. And I said, you know, this is Jelly. She calls me Jelly. I went, hey, mommy, this is Jelly. You know, when you have the time, I really need to talk to you about something that's on my spirit, because it's like really bothering me. I have so many questions. I know that, you know, daddy has talked to you before and said your daughter wants to talk to you. You know, she's starting to realize some things in her life that are similar to yours, which there is, I do believe in generational curses, you know. And I said, I really need to know your side of the story, because I'm going to let you know, I just need to talk to you. That's all I said. And she called me and we talked. And I told her, you know, I have known since a child, my dad has never got over what you and him went through. He never wanted to talk about you. I used to ask about you all the time. He said, I don't want to talk about your mom. But once I became older, I became an adult, he started slowly letting us know things, you know. And I told her certain stories about, like, what happened in court, where she said that grant my dad custody because we wasn't worth it. And she said, now, I don't know what your dad is talking about, but she said, I didn't say that. She said, I told the court, the judge, that go ahead and grant your dad custody because it wasn't worth fighting. It wasn't worth going through all the stress in the fight. She said, your dad ran off with y'all. And she said, when she said that, I went through the same thing with my kid's dad. He ran off with my kids. That's how I lost custody. He ran off with the kids and disappeared. Took all the money out the account. And you know, I forgave him. I can face my kid's dad. We talk, we conversate, we laugh. No ill. Like if I sit here and tell y'all a story, be like, how the heck? I would never talk to that person a day in my life. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. When I tell you, no ill. No ill. But I told my mom he never got over it. She said, well, he must wear the mask very well because he doesn't make it seem that way when we talk on the phone. I said, Mommy, I'm telling you, and I feel like I'm paying for it. I really starting to believe when my dad looks at me, he sees you, and I'm being treated in a way I don't understand. When I tell y'all I had a plan, I saved up so much money, like over $12,000 in my career with Werner. I was stacking, and God put it on my spirit. It was like, what is it a man to gain the whole world just to lose his soul? And I was like, why would you say that to me? He was like, so I see you're looking at your account, you're seeing how much you accumulated in this certain months of time. What is your plan? And I said, well, I'm saving it up because I want to get a house and I want to do this, and my goal is to go back, to get my kids. And I was going to start all over in Georgia. And my father was like, so have you ever thought about how your kids felt, how your family felt? So you mean tell me you're doing all of this and you're going to leave those behind? And the first thing I thought about was my family. So I reached out to my dad. We started communicating, and next thing you know, I'm helping my dad out of debt. I'm helping my dad pay all his bills. I'm sending my dad money like every freaking week, y'all. If I had an extra freaking phone, I would literally log in on Zelle and show you I'm talking about sending my dad probably like 2 bands a week. I'm telling you, back to back. I'm just sending him money. Every couple of days, sending him money. He'll ask for something, sending him money. And I noticed that once I moved down here, he piled all the kids on me. Didn't ask what my plan was. He just said, oh, this is my plan and it's going to happen with you, without you. The goal was he wanted to take the kids from my kid's father, like my ex-husband. Rush should go to the court, file, I can't even think of the word right now. File a contempt. And basically go through DCF. Because there was signs of neglect and malnutrition. It was, but that's not on him because he worked so much. The kid's not going to take care of themselves. They're going to eat what they want to eat. So I kind of understand that, it was very hard for me. He's a single dad. He's trying to take care of 3 sons by himself. I mean, he has to work a full-time job just to manage a house, 2 cars, the kids, food, everything. It's hard, I understand, but I told him if you would have communicated with me, we could have worked something out. My dad was like a mediator between me and my kid's father because we wasn't really talking, and I felt like I could never talk to him. When we go try to have real conversations, it just clashed. So I that was my fault. My dad is the mediator, but I felt that my dad was too far up in my business, that he wanted to have total control and he wanted things to go his way. And I'm like, I told him, I can't just take the kids like that. First of all, they got their own room at home. Each and every one got their own room, own bed. You want them to live here at your house. I'm living with you at your house. I don't have my own, and they're sleeping on the floor. And I'm sleeping on the couch. You talking about getting DCF involved, they gonna look like, okay, they're sleeping on the floor. Do they have their own room and beds over here? I'm maxing out my credit cards, putting food in the house for everybody to eat. It's me, my ex-fiance. Now we're not together anymore. It was him, me, my 3 sons, my nephew, and my dad. Nobody is contributing food in the house but me and my ex. Plus, we're looking out for the kids, so we're both going in debt because we came down here with a little bit of money and, you know, just enough money to sustain ourselves till we came across a job. And we both ran into crappy jobs. And I'm like, oh my God, everything is falling apart. Like, what is going on? God wasn't saying anything. He wasn't responding. I'm like, okay, why are you silent? Like, this is a time when I really need you to talk to me right now, you know? And long story short, as everything fell apart, I got kicked out. But my ex could stay. My dad put me out. So I found a place for us to go. I reached out to my dad's friend, and he was like, you know what? You just need to be in a positive environment right now. But he said, you go to work tonight? I said, yeah, I go to work tonight. I'll be back in the morning. I got to drive overnight. He said, well, call me when you get off, as soon as you get off in the morning. And call me when you're with Trevor, and I'm going to have y'all meet me at my house. So some said, do not tell your fiance what just happened. Ask him what his plan is. So I asked him, I said, you know, Trevor, what's your plan? Oh, I got 3 options. I can either go up north, lose everything, go back to Georgia, lose everything, or stay here. I had to wind up staying outside in the car because I had nowhere to stay. And he just sat there with me. And he was like, oh, I could leave the keys in here. I'm going to just go step inside. I'm like, okay, now you're acting funny. And God wasn't saying anything. Long story short, I wound up moving to my dad's best friend's house by myself. And he stayed over there at my dad's. And then eventually he left. He stayed for like a week and then he went back to Georgia. My dad got rid of my rabbits. Didn't reach out to me and say anything. So basically, everything just crumbled. Everything. But at the same time, I gained a lot. I turned around and got an increase with my job. I pick up my car in a couple of days because, mind you, I did have a vehicle. My dad gave me his vehicle, but it was crazy when I came back to Georgia. The father told me to give it back, and I'm like, why would I give back something he gave to me? And the father said, because what I have for you is better. And he said, and to be honest, your dad really didn't mean what he did. He didn't mean anything by it. It's counterfeit, basically. And he said, watch what I tell you, give it back to him. And when I said, here, Daddy, here's the keys. He said, what are you doing? I said, something on my spirit. Father said, give it back to you. And next thing I know, my dad's attitude just changed. Like, okay, he started focusing on the truck, and now he wants to fix everything. So you got all the mechanical stuff done to it, so that helped out a lot. I'm like, oh wow. And the father said, see what I told you? He said, because he never got over the fact when he gave you a vehicle the first time. And I'm going to explain that to you guys. I held rebellious and resentment towards my dad because he gave my sister a brand new Grand Prix Pontiac Grand Prix and gave me an old MPV van, Mazda van, that had no heat, no AC. So my kids, newborns now, we're freezing and we're hot. No, it had heat. I'm sorry. It had heat for the winter, but it had no AC for the summer. So I would have to open up the far back windows. There's a flap, and my babies was in car seats back there, sweating their butts off. And my driver's side window didn't go down. The passenger side did. So me and my family sweating. So I held on to that vehicle for like 2 years, and I traded in for a new vehicle. He got upset about that. He was very freaking hurt. Or I could have kept my van and not look at the fact that you gave me something that you love supposedly, but you gave me something that did not really, it helped me for the time being to get me on my feet till I got something better. He held that against me. So him giving me the rodeo, which he called it passing a blessing, because for all I have done for him, he didn't really mean what he said. And God was protecting me. Because he said, if you never gave it, thank you, Father. If you never would have gave it back to him, then he was going to take it by force, and you would have been way more hurt than anything. So I protected you by telling you to give it back to him. See, Father said, sometimes when you ask me for something, you ask for insight, or you call my name, I don't have to answer all the time. I am God. I don't have to answer when you call my name. And there's reasons why I don't answer. When I speak, it speaks for itself. When I do speak, it's for a purpose, and it's at the right time when I say it is. So I had to learn to respect God's silence, because sometimes when God is silent, it's for you to be paying attention and using the tools that he gave you. Spirit of discernment, insight, his Holy Spirit, fruits of the Spirit. Like, if he gave you all the tools and equipment that you need, it's up to you to put it on and to wear it and to apply it and to use it to your advantage. Not for the advantage of your purpose, but his, yet alone. So going back to, I had to really accept that I am the black sheep of my family for something I don't understand. And I'm not going to constantly keep asking God for insight on why. But it lets me know that the Father told me, yes, I have brought you into this world through that family, but in the end, you are mine. You are mine. And I needed you to cut them off so that I could take you under my wing for my purpose. My purpose. You are chosen. Many are called, but only few are chosen. And I felt like so many were called in my family and nobody answered the call. I always felt that way. And I'm noticing my family things are repeating itself. So that's why I went back to my family to help. But I guess the Father was saying it wasn't that time. And I started to feel like my dad is a liar. I'm still feeling like that. I'm battling with these emotions now. And I'm asking God to get them off my heart. And he hasn't. And I think it's for something that he wants me to deal with, to overcome on my own. He's not going to just make it easy for me. And I'm starting to feel like my dad's been a liar. He wears a mask very well. And that, I'm not meant to be liked. I'm not meant to be loved. I went back expecting to be accepted with open arms. And yes, I poured out myself to my family just to be accepted. I feel like if I had to do that just to feel like I'm loved and accepted, and that I'm not this person y'all put me out here to be. Because when I tell you, my family talked down on me. Like, I done heard from other people's mouths. Like, the person I stay with now is my dad's best friend. And trust me, I do not talk to him about my dad, me and my dad's relationship. I don't get involved in that. I said, because I love and I adore the friendship that you and my dad have. And I love Mr. Troy like he's an uncle to me. And I told him, I'm not going to say any ill on my father. Just know that I cut him off. I understand it bothers you because that's, him having daughters. He's real close to his daughters. His daughters is his heart. So I understand from a father and an elder perspective, but I say you don't know the story. You don't know the story. And I'm not finna sit here and try to explain it to you. I said, but one day you will see. He said, well, I just don't understand why he talks so bad about you. He said, because what I see, you're doing the best. Like, since I've been staying over there at my dad's friend's house, he has seen nothing but productivity. He's like, I'm so proud of you. Like he told me yesterday, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. He said, keep going. Don't let this stop you. So he sees it. He just don't say anything. And I'm like, God, is it just me? Like, say this ain't real. Say this is not real. I've been feeling like this since I was a child. And I thought I got over it. But now being faced with it and actually go through it again, to get a full understanding, like, look, I'm not finna keep bringing you around in a circle for you to face the same thing, to get you to understand it is what it is. It's either you accept it or not. And that's what I feel like God is doing. This is what I've been trying to protect you from for the longest. This is what I've been trying to take you from the longest. I'm like, I can't get over the fact that it's my own family, my own dad. Like, somebody that raised me. I didn't have my mom. Somebody I laid my eyes on when I first came into this world. that, I loved. Like, I still do love him. I love him from a distance, though. I don't love him the earthly way. And I feel like I love my dad the earthly way more than the spiritual way. But I hope my dad gets the healing that he needs. I've been trying to pay that debt that ain't mine by doing what I did for him. Because I want him to know that, yeah, you went through a lot with my mom, but you gained a lot in return. He said he lost so much, but you gained a lot. You're surrounded by people that love you and would do the most for you. But at the same time, I see why my brothers cut him off. Like, he doesn't talk to none of my brothers. The only one that's still around is my sister. And I feel like I'm starting to see now that some of my siblings and, anybody that's under his wing is brainwashed. That's how I'm starting to feel, like they're brainwashed. And I'm like, he wear this mask so freaking well. And I'm like, how can you sit here and lead God's people? Like, he's gifted. He's supposedly chosen. And I'm just like, and I understand why years ago in middle school, I know I'm sounding like I'm all over the place, but God just put on my spirit, say, remember when your friend in middle school told you you're using your father as a golden calf? And that's actually in the Bible, the book of Moses. Like, you look to your dad as a golden calf. He is not your God. Because I'm not going to lie. Like, anything my dad said, I took as gold. Like, it was value to me. And nobody else's word meant nothing to me but like my dad's. Like, and most of my relationships, past relationships, people hated the relationship I had with my dad. They envied because they was like, your dad ain't portraying who he say he is. Like, my kid's dad said it. And he was like, Angelica, I've been trying to get you to see that for a long time. He was like, I've been trying to get you to see that for a long time. He said, finally you're seeing it. And I didn't know he told my ex at the time when we was dating that, I just hope and pray she don't put you through what I went through when it came to her dad. And I was just like, this man is out here to destroy my life because he doesn't want me to gain what he lost. You get what I'm saying? I'm out here to trying to break this repeated cycle of this generational curse, whatever you want to call it. I'm out here trying to break these chains, as most of them I have broken. But for you to speak damnation and I had to witness it now, and I don't think he was aware that what he just said, like, I don't think he was doing it so fluently. Like, I don't think he was aware of what he was doing, and I still don't think he's aware of what he's doing. But another side of me is telling me, oh no, he's very aware. And this whole time, the Father's been trying to protect me from it. But the fact of just accepting you guys it's hard. Like, my own family. Damn, like, is this what chosen people gotta go? Like, I knew I was chosen. I never brag about it, though. I always kept it to myself. And I know since I was a child, like, I would notice things. I'm like, don't nobody else notice this stuff? Like, I looked at my family, like, in a different light as a child. And I'm like, maybe it's because I'm ugly. Maybe it's because I'm not cool like them. But I didn't know how valuable I was. And I still tried to show my worth. I still tried to show them I'm not what y'all say I am. Like, oh my God, I tried in so many ways, y'all. And I know I'm not just speaking for myself. I know there's people out there like me that's like, you gotta face this every day. Like, you by yourself. You got total strangers that God bring across your path that love you so genuinely, and you will wish that your family see the same thing. I get more love from strangers, more acknowledgement from strangers. And I'm like, but my dad, though? And all of them, my dad. I don't care about my siblings. I ain't trying to be heartless or anything, but my dad, though. I couldn't even drive. Like, I told him I had to take a break, which I'm stuck here anyway. I can't pick up a load here, but he was like, oh, we kind of feel something's bothering you. Just take your time, you know. And I think that's why I wasn't able to pick up this load, because God got me sitting here. He's like, I need you to get over this. And then something said, share it. And I'm like, why would I want to share something at my disturbing moment? Nope, they never see me like this on YouTube. I already got people messaging like, where are you? But this is what I'm going through, y'all. I was always aware that, you know, his people are not going to be, they're not meant to fit in. I can accept that. I mean, I'm not trying to fit in with nobody. I stand on my truth, and I stand for who I am. I could never try to be something that I'm not. It's not in me. But when you're faced with the truth of your family, though, like, I don't know how everybody else feel, but when it's your blood, it make you feel like, dang, why did you put me with this family? You could have put me somewhere else. When he got rid of my Chrissy, my rabbit, like, I go there to get my things and my rabbits are gone. Like, I didn't even get to say goodbye. Like, nothing, y'all. Like, cages and all. Like, and then he just closed himself off in the room. Like, I spent money on this man. His trucks are working because of me. I have no vehicle for myself, but I fixed this man trucks buying $700 tires and all that. I'm like, and the whole time I was there waiting for my Uber to come pick me up with my stuff, I'm like, the devil's like, just go over there and slash some tires. And something said, hold your peace. And I was like, at the end of the day, he's in Mr. Troy house. The house he's staying in is his best friend, who I'm actually staying with now, at his other house. Why would I sit here and do something like this on this man's property? Because, yeah, my dad lives here, but it's owned by Mr. Troy. And I was like, I'm going to hold my peace. And I'm looking like most of the furniture in his house I bought. Yeah, I'm hurt. Like, I'm so freaking hurt. And I'm like, dang, I started feeling regret. Like I poured myself out to the wrong people. And I should have never did that. I should have did it for myself. But God was like, no, because you were so eager, genuinely, to pour yourself out till your cup was empty for others and not even expect nothing in return. I'm going to give you back 10 times for what you lost. And I kid you not, like, days later, we got more work for you, an increase in my pay and everything. I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't know how I was gonna make it, y'all. I was like, I ain't had no way to work, like, but he made a way. He was like, you're gonna see that unexpected miracles happen out of nowhere because of me. Nobody's gonna help you. And when I tell you nobody's helping me, nobody, not even the person I'm living with, nobody is helping me. God is helping me alone. Like, I be sitting there, I'm in my panic mode, like, oh my God, I gotta go to work tonight. Where's the money coming from? Next thing I know, I didn't know I got paid early, extra early. I'm supposed to get paid every Monday. I got paid on a fucking Wednesday night. Excuse my French. Thursday morning, I got paid. I'm like, oh my God, now I could Uber for the rest of the week to work. Like, just, I got approved for a loan because I was like, okay, God, I can't keep Ubering. This is costing me so much. And now I'm Ubering food to the house as well because he stays so far out from everything. It's not walking distance. I stay deep out, like far from stuff. And I'm like, I'm Ubering food, Ubering back and forth to work. I'm like, my money just dwindling. And yesterday I had worked. And God put in my spirit, like, what are you going to do when you get off of work? I said, well, I'm going to just Uber back to Mr. Troy's house. And he said, why can't you go to your dad's house to go get your belongings and get your mail? And I was like, because God, I have to think about, I don't get paid again until Monday. I might get paid, blessed to get paid again Thursday, but I was like, I'm trying to hold on to what I got. He said, oh, so you're limiting me? I said, I'm not limiting you. I'm limited on money. He said, but you forgot who I am, and I'm with you. Like, why are you limiting yourself? And you putting a limitation on me, and there is none. Like God got offended. And I was like, oh my God, you know what? You're right. I didn't even hesitate. I said, I will, as soon as I get for work, clean up the truck, pack up my stuff, I will literally take a ride there. I promise you, I will take a ride there. I said, just give me time, to really process it. He said, there ain't nothing to process. Because he said, I done blessed you with so much, to the point I gave you way more than enough that you deserve. And what did you do with it? He said, I'm not finna, he said, this is what I need you to understand. I'm not finna keep giving, pouring into my children, and they got it and they still don't do right by it. If you got it, do right by it. Because next time you ask and you run into a situation, I'm not going to give, because I'm going to think about when I did give you before, what did you do with it? So I'm giving you this opportunity, Angelica. And he said, I really didn't have to say anything. I said, okay, you're right. You're right, because I did post a video about that. You complain about the money, how much you're making in trucking, but when he gave you the opportunity where you did make what you made and you didn't know it was even possible, like, this is way more than I expected. Okay, because there's something you're supposed to be doing right by that money, but you bull crapping, and then you want to complain about, oh, I could have been got my own trucking business, I could have been did this, I could have been invested in this, I could have did this, I could have, should have, would have done it, but you didn't do it. So that's basically what he was telling me in a nutshell. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I tried to stretch it, but I'm looking at it. Some said, nah, just wait till tomorrow. But I said, no. If that's what he's putting on my spirit to do, I'm gonna do it. Knowing my money was low. I Ubered all the way to my dad's house from the job site when I dropped the truck off. Mind you, it was cheaper. I'm like, dang, this going in the same direction. It's cheaper. Okay, well, ain't really hit me that bad. I go to my dad's house, and that's when I find my rabbits gone, all that type of stuff. And I went and got my mail, when I got my most stuff I could get, because I think about whoever picked me up as an Uber, I can't pack up all my stuff, so I packed up what I could, which was most of my clothes and other garments and stuff. And got back with the Uber to my, to his best friend's house where I live at now, and wasn't that bad of a price. I'm like, okay. And when I got there, got settled in, and Mr. Troy was asking me questions and everything, and he's giving me words of encouragement. Boom! I got an email and said, you have been approved for a loan with your bank. Sign this e-sign to agreement to the payment plan, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, that money is going to hit along with my pay period when my paycheck hit. So it's going to be more than enough to go and get the car that I wanted to get. Because I've been praying. I was like, Lord, I can't keep doing this Ubering thing. It's going to kill me. And I ain't gonna lie, I went to some places and they, denied and this and then the third. It wasn't really my credit, y'all. It was just because I was trying to not really pay much down on it. But hey, I tried. But it's also the person that I had with me to ride along, not using her, but she had an Uber, a rental car. She Ubered, so she took me because we work at the same company. But I felt something in my spirit said that you got bad company. I'm not, no. And I was like, because it was just impossible. Why would I get denied? My credit good. Like, why? But it's crazy, after getting from around her, things started flourishing back up. So I felt God say, nobody's going to help you. It's going to be me and me alone. Nobody's going to help you. Don't ask. Don't look for. No. And I was like, well, I'm not taking no for an answer on no car. I said, I love you, God, but something got to give. Because this Ubering thing is going to kill me. And I got to prove, you know, so things are flourishing. I got to increase with my job. Things are flourishing, but I'm not going to take advantage of it this time. I feel like the Father telling me, you was on this journey alone and you're going to stay alone, and it's going to be me and you. I'm going to help you get where you need to be, where I want you to be. And yeah, it's okay to have a significant other. Don't get me wrong. My relationship was good with my ex, but to fold on me like that because of a hiccup situation that we both didn't expect to move down here in Florida, and you left me. I'm sorry. If God put something together, shall no man come in between and tear it apart. So obviously it wasn't meant, and that's what I told him. I said, I still got love for you, but I feel like I'm not the one for you, and you're not the one for me. God has somebody else for you, but you got to get right first. I always told him that, and I said I'm not going to put myself through any more trauma that I don't deserve, because at the end of the day, I love me. So this, you know, don't take it to heart. He said, you understand, because he was wondering down the line, can we really consider to start out fresh? Just let us get ourselves where we need to be first. And I was like, you could have did that from the jump instead of coming all the way down to Florida with me. I gave you a ultimatum. Like, I gave you an option. You can either stay in Georgia, I leave the place for you, the furniture and everything, make sure you set. I just don't want to leave you stranded or leave you messed up, you feel me? And I could move down to Florida for the sake of my children, because I'm not stopping. I'm going to Florida. Something is telling me to go to Florida, and didn't know this is the reason for it. Like, he brought me back down here. It's crazy. And I was sitting here saying, like, this is the reason why I left Florida. It's a bad ominous, bad memory. No, you have some unfinished business that you need to do, because I can't take you where I want to take you holding on to these things. And I know y'all probably thinking like, oh, so is you gonna let go? I let go. It's just the pain is still there. The pain of the truth and realization, something that I denied. And I hear God say, I don't know why you're so upset about it. Like, you knew this the whole time. But he said, I also understand that it really did hurt the way it happened. But it had to happen. It was necessary. And I was like, dang, you have to put it like that. But I understand. I know I told y'all in the beginning of this video it wasn't going to be long, but I wanted to give a little bit more detail. So for those out there that's that black sheep in their family, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I totally get it too when you're chosen and you just don't know why people just don't like it. Like, I still don't understand, but a lot of people say, yeah, it's because what's in you. What's in you and what's in them, it doesn't match. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got God in you, and it's troubling their demons or whatever, they insecurities, whatever they got going on inside them. And I totally get it, but to accept it, outside of people you don't know, but your blood though, like, oh my God, somebody that you wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them, like your dad. Yeah, like somebody raised me to believe in God, raised me on the righteous path. Like, everything I've learned was from him, and I'm realizing that God, like, no, we're gonna start all over. I need you to get rid of that, because he didn't tell you the truth of everything. He's a manipulator. And that's one thing about gifted people. You can know your power and you can use it to your advantage. You are going to pay for that. Do you know it's a big ass cost to recognize God present to you your power and you manipulate his children? Yeah, they might be asleep. They might be walking dead, but they're still God's children. You would pay the price for that. And some of the things that I realized that he taught me some of those things was not true. I had to go through it to understand. And I was like, wait a minute, this is what, no, God said, that is not what I said. That's what he told you. I'm like, what? I never talked back to my dad before. But that day, I did. And it was based on my truth. Like, you're not finna bash me no more. You're not finna downgrade my integrity and who I am, because I know who I am. I'm not those things. I advise you be quiet right now. I'm like, because I'm telling you the truth, you a hypocrite. You brag about what you do for people. When I do something from the kindness of my heart. I'm doing it genuinely. I don't remind myself of it, and I don't remind you of it. It's done. Once it's done, check, sign, that's like you swipe your card. You swipe your card to pay for something, that money is gone. I ain't even thought about it. The only thing you got is a receipt. Some people throw it away. What's the reason I keep it a receipt if the merchandise ain't valuable? You're not going to keep the receipt for groceries. Something you ingest. What you going to do? Crap it back out and go back to the store and say, can I get my money back? He's a receipt? Like, no. Like, if I do something for you, I'm doing it willingly. It's done. It was on my heart to. My dad will do something for you and remind you of it. And if he don't remind you, he's going to remind other people what he did for you. I said, you do. And you're boastful. I said, that's not love. You constantly reminding people of their wrongdoings. That means you never I got over. No, you did not. And that's what the argument was about. I said, you're a hypocrite. You don't stand on what you say. You contradict yourself. You know? I've been out here too long in this wilderness to know better. Let me tell you something. God was tearing my butt up. And I had to own up to it. I had to undo everything that I've done. And there's some things I'm still doing. I don't know his plan, but he knows what's best. But I'm just like, I had to let y'all know. I hate that y'all had to see me at my vulnerability. And I hate that this video was like 47 minutes long. But I hope that it was worth watching these whole 47, 48 minutes. Because I know I'm not the only one. Some said record and post it. And I'm like, why would I do that in my own vulnerable state? And I feel like he said, because you don't know how many people are behind closed doors doing it. And they feel alone. And I want to let them know that it's real out here. When people saying that you the black sheep, baby, you're so valuable. I don't care how many times they try to make you feel at your lowest lows. You ain't worth nothing. You ain't gonna be nothing. You just worthless since birth, baby. God allowing all of that to happen to cause you to push away from that. Because guess what? When he's fine, get you by yourself, he gonna undo all of that, baby. And guess what? He has prepared a table before your enemies, and your enemies are not physical. Your enemies are not physical, it's spiritual. Because think about it, it's a battle going on, not flesh upon flesh, but spirits upon spirits in higher places that cannot be seen. Like, so just because you feel like your family is your enemy, it's not per se your family. It's what's in them. It's against you. The enemy is all about destroying unity. And sometimes God allows those things to happen because he has to take you out of the familiar and put you into the unfamiliar, and basically change everything that you have been taught in this world. Because think about it, this world is all about control. Baby girl, baby boy, it goes deeper than that. And I'm crying because I'm just like, oh my God, I have so much to explore. But it's gonna have to take that walk of faith with God, and God alone, nobody else, God alone, to get a full understanding. You know, and I'm not going to lean on my own understanding to find out. But what I am going to do is I'm going to cut all ties of this constant repeating cycle of being manipulated and controlled based on somebody else's belief instead of my own. You know, and wow. I just know it hurts, yo. But until we meet again, y'all, I just want to let y'all know that I'm still alive. I'm still trucking. But it's a different type of trucking for me. I gotta go back to my roots. That's the route I'm on right now. But y'all have a blessed and prosperous day. And I will see y'all soon in the next video. Bye.